Now, the hardest thing to do when shooting natural light is to shoot in very harsh light situations. And that's what makes shooting natural light hard, is that sometimes you're forced to shoot in a situation where there's only hard light around and you've got to be able to use it to your advantage. Or perhaps you just want a variety of images, which I like doing. So a lot of shots I'll shoot with soft light, and those techniques that I just described. And then I'll also try to do some photos where I'm using hard light, which gives a completely different look, okay? It doesn't mean that one light is better than another. It's just they have different qualities. And so you have to kind of go with hard light and use it to your advantage. Now I'm gonna go over some problems that harsh light creates and how we can overcome them. So let's talk about some harsh light problems. One, harsh light happens when the sun is very high. And when that sun is high, it doesn't light the face correctly. What happens is when that light is high, your eyes are kind of inset in your face, and so there's going to be shadows and sometimes very strong shadows over your eyes when the sun is high. And when you get that situation, you're not going to get a catch light, and it's not going to be a very pleasant portrait. Two, you're going to deal with sharp shadows. And so when those sharp shadows in the wrong places, like parts of the face and hot spots on the body, it's going to be very difficult to get out in Photoshop, and you're just going to be fighting it. And it's really hard sometimes when you got a lot of sharp shadows that you're trying to soften. And here's another one. When a subject is in direct sunlight, a lot of times it's really hard for the subject to look nose towards the light because it's so strong that your subjects are going to squint. And that's not pleasing too, and it's very hard for a subject to keep their eyes open, relaxed when the sun is like shining right in it. That's another problem. Another problem is if you have the sun behind the subject, a lot of times you're going to have an overexposed sky. And why is that? If the sun is shining and behind the subject and your camera is here, this face is very, very dark because it's in shadow. And so now when you expose for the face, you're going to have to brighten up your exposure. And when you brighten that up, the light behind the subject is going to blow out. And so that's when you get blown out skies and you get a lot of highlights. And as I mentioned before, your eye goes to what's brightest in the frame. And if the sky is the brightest point of your frame, you're not looking at the subject. You're looking at the sky, and it totally takes away from your photo. So what are your solutions now? Those are the problems. What are the solutions? And I have 7 solutions that you can do, okay? One is you can use bright colors. Direct sunlight looks amazing with bright colors, and you can use that to your advantage. 2, you can use a reflector. Reflectors work great in bright light. 3, you can also use a diffuser to kind of soften that light when it's coming in very harsh. 4, you can also look for speckled shadows to give you some mystery to your photos, and it has a very cool look to it. 5, you can use the sun not as a direct light, but you can use it as a side light, giving you a highlight and a shadow, and that creates some amazing drama for you. 6, you can do this technique called shooting into darkness. You can find a bright little area where you can put your subject, and behind it is dark, and so therefore the subject's going to pop off the screen because it's going to be for sure the brightest part of that image. 7, you can just go with the sun, right? Why fight it? I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to create a silhouette. So if I set my exposure to the bright sky or the bright sun, then my subjects will be very, very dark, and I can use a silhouette at this point. So I'm going to go over all these examples on how to do that. Let's go through number one, bright colors pop. So in this next photo, I'm on a beach in Hawaii, and my subject is wearing a bright blue dress, and then the sky behind her is also bright blue because they're both receiving direct sunlight. When you have a subject that's wearing something brightly colored, direct sun on your subject can really make it pop. Here's another situation where I have my subject wearing a red dress on the Great Wall of China, and you can see the red really comes out, and the green behind her, which is a complementary color, will also pop out too, and I am using direct sunlight on my subject. Here's another place in Paris that I'm shooting, and they have this one street where it's kind of all pastel colors and brightly colored, and I'm using the direct sun in this particular shot to make those colors come out bright. And my subject was having a hard time looking into the direction of the sun. So here's a technique that I do all the time, is I just have the subject simply close their eyes while looking at the sun, and then their nose will always be towards the light, and you don't have to worry about the sun. You can also have them put on sunglasses or something like that too. Here's another case here where I'm at Joshua Tree in California, and the sky was beautiful, and so that direct sun was right on my subject, but I had that sky pop off, and I had those Joshua trees in the background, and the colors are intense, and I'm just going with the sun at this point. I'm in the salt flats of Utah on these next photos, and I loved what this girl was wearing with her multicolored blouse and her iridescent sunshades on. So I put her right in the direct sun because I wanted that contrast, right? So I know that sun was bright, so I kind of over-exaggerated and made it a contrasty in post-processing a bit because I wanted those colors to pop. In this particular case, I was just going with the sun, making those bright colors pop and slightly overexposing the skin, creating a great contrast. This works great when you're working with somebody who has dark hair, because in that way you're going to get a high contrast photo, and that dark hair is going to really create great contrast against the skin and look fantastic. Then the next photo is also in the salt flats, but I love what she's wearing. She's wearing a bright yellow shirt, and guess what? Blue and yellow are complementary colors, so I know that they're gonna look good together. I put them into direct sun, and I'm using that sky in the background to pop off because that sun is shining on that clear sky and with the girl in the yellow shirt, and makes for a very colorful image. Here we are in Cuba, and we went to this kind of, I guess it's kind of like a graveyard for ships, where they had a bunch of ships there, and they're kind of old, but they're painted in bright colors. And so I'm demonstrating how to use the direct sunlight. I want those ships and those colors of those ships to really pop off, so I put them in the direct sun. I put my subject in the direct sun, nose towards the light. That dress is popping off. The ocean behind her is popping off. The sky is blue. The sun is really bright, so what did I have her do? I had her close her eyes while she's looking towards that sun. Okay, now here is another situation where I am using and looking for color. Obviously what she's wearing is colorful, so if I put her in the direct sun, her dress, the colors of her dress are really gonna come out. So what did I do? I combined her against a colorful wall. When I'm using direct sun, the key is I am looking for color. So if your subject is happening to wearing some color, that's awesome, but also look for color in your environment and you get a double pop of color in it. And that's another technique that you can use with Bright Sun. And so here she has her dress, she's holding it up, and I kind of place her in this shadow area that's acting as a frame that will really make her pop. And against this orange gold wall, it really looks great.